Hello. Today I am going to show a tool I recently made that allows you to boot directly into AppleSoft Basic programs of your choosing with the ROMXc by JD Micro, which is an excellent project that, let me boot into the menu. The JD Micro ROMXc for the Apple IIc. There's also the ROMX for Apple II and Apple II Plus, and the ROMXe, which works the same as the ROMXc for Apple IIe computers. And it lets you upload a number of ROM images to use as your main system ROM, and you can also there are instructions and tools provided to create bootable ROM images of your favorite games. Not all games can be turned into ROMs easily. And in fact, even when they can be, the process is somewhat technical and may require moving pieces of binaries around in memory. And so while the specific examples that they give for, say, Choplifter is straightforward and easy to follow, doing something like that arbitrarily for whatever game you happen to like may be more of a challenge. And so I thought perhaps it would be very useful for people to be able to simply load up an AppleSoft Basic program and boot into that. It's a straightforward process, and you just run my tool to do it. And so I'm going to demonstrate that now. So I'm going to go ahead and boot into the default ROM here, which will then boot my utility disk for AppleSoft Autorun ROM Maker. And it loads up some instructions that you can see on the screen, and we're going to do that. So the first thing to do is to load the basic program that you want to boot into. And the project disk includes a basic program called Screensaver, so I'm going to go ahead and load that. Excuse typos. And apologies if you happen to hear a hissing sound. I do have the Mockingbird 4C installed on this machine, and it does seem to produce a hiss that I haven't ironed out at this time. And if I type run, you can see the very simple operation of this program. It saves your screen. And so I'll go ahead and Control C to get out of that. And maybe I'll add a line as well. Right at the top, I will add code that spits out the listing first, and then does a bit of a pause before continuing on. And let's see if that works correctly. Yeah, there's the list, and then after a pause, it starts. Okay, now the next part of the instructions, I'll go ahead and oh wait, no, that will that will overwrite the currently loaded program, so I won't do that. I will run make a soft ROM, and what that will do is load up the AppleSoft loader. Oh, I guess somehow I had input that happened. I didn't manage to enter the ROM file name, so we'll try that again. Run. Oh, nope. Make a soft ROM. Okay, and I'll just type ROMI as the file name. And it's saving onto my disk image on my floppy email. All right. right, and it's done. I will power off the machine now and boot back into the ROMXc screen. And I'll type U to upload a ROM image, and it sees that there is, I guess I had already saved a copy of this as well, but here's the new one we just created, ROMing. So I'll go ahead and upload that to bank 6 and call it savey screen. And U to upload. And wait for that to finish. All right, and it's done. And then if I were to go ahead and boot into the ROM image right now by pressing 6, you'll get a screen saying you can't just boot straight into it because there is actually a piece of setup we need to do. So I'll hit a key to return to the ROMXc boot image, and I'll press the I key. It goes to the information page, and I'll press 6 to go to our ROM, and Control D to edit the description. And the one thing that I need to add here is and S2 to tell it to chain load to the second ROM bank, which says ROM $00. And that's my main, that's the ROM with the asterisk next to it. It's my normal boot up ROM. And so it will do, my ROM will do its thing and then chain load to the main system ROM. So hit return to save that description, and now I'll type 6 again to boot, and it immediately dumps the program listing and starts the screensaver. So that's it. You just load your basic program and you run my tool, and you've got a ROM image that you can upload to your ROMXc that will boot directly into your basic program. It will only boot to the basic program when you turn the power on, when it gets to go through the ROMXc boot. Otherwise, if I just type Control C and then open Apple Control Return to reboot, then it's just going to boot from the normal system ROM because there's no chain loading happening. So here it went back to the boot up script, the basic program on my disk image instead of the one that boots up directly. But if I turn off the computer and turn it on again and boot from ROM 6, which of course I could set as the I took too long. Which I could just start ROM 6 as the default, of course, but for right now it's just temporary, and I'll hit 6. And there's the program listing again and the screensaver. Thank you very much for watching.